It's all good. Dave, awesome to see you, my friend.
Mike, my man, good to see you, dude.
Best part of the show, seeing you. How long have we known each other?
About 4 years now.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's short time, but
it feels like we're brothers.
Yeah.
We're both hydronic nerds. We both eat, sleep, breathe this. We both like to do training. We both like to get our hands dirty. What's got you most excited about the show?
You know, when I get to shows like this, everybody that comes in here that's just thirsty for knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, and they really come down to not just for the parties are one thing and the meet and greets are another, but now when you could share ideas, talk about stuff, how can I make myself better as a customer that walks into my booth? He's like, I've got this project, I've got this situation, and there's a solution because he's talking to the smartest and brightest people in the industry at this show. That's what I love about it.
So where else can you go? So yesterday I spent time with you, John Siegenthaler, Robert Bean, Dr. Bales, and I sat in some CSA meetings. Where else can you go and do that in one show?
I know, right? I know. In a couple of days, it's overwhelming.
Right.
Overwhelming. So whenever I talk to anybody coming to this show for the first time, you got to come with a plan.
Yes.
You got to map it out. If you just want to just walk around, you're not going to get as much out of it. Yeah, you got to, who do you want to see? Make sure you ask questions. Don't just walk into their booth and look around and walk out, right? Because you've got these people that want to help you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. All we want to do is help you be the best you can be, so.
Well, you nailed it in the planning. You know how I am. I go at one pace and one pace only. It's a running joke at the show. Every 30 minutes I've got meetings booked with people like you so we can sit down, we can talk, and obviously we're on camera right now, but we've had some tomfoolery off camera already, obviously. So we've had an opportunity to look around the booth, and it's a really nice booth. You got a lot of great products here. What's new and exciting coming in the new year that's exciting you about Takeo, whether it's product or training? Obviously we have the new System M. We talked extensively yesterday about that, but what else is going on?
Nothing slows down, as we like to joke around here at the show. We call this Emerald City because everything's green, right? So we have some fun with that. And on my side of things, I'm in the training department, and we're always still developing more and more in the training world. We're still somewhat of that COVID hangover, which I think is gone.
Yep.
But online presence.
It's apparent here, it's gone. I don't know how many thousands of people here, but it's got to be 50. It's a huge number of people.
But we still have online going.
Yeah.
Last year, we had 20,000 people still come to an online training class between the Takeo After Dark, Takeo Tuesdays, Monday Night Live, and all the other individual stuff that we've been doing. So the training is still growing. We just introduced our new training schedule for 2023 is out on the residential side. The commercial department has doubled the number of training classes they're going to do this year. And some of our biggest expansions too, and product-wise, outside of the training and the services that we're doing, is we're still expanding the ECM line of circulators. So here you see the 26E. We're starting to get into the larger sizes for those residential larger homes, or your snow melts, or anything that you might see a 300,000 BTU boiler going into. Rather than doing a big wall of pumps, going bigger, getting the variable speed going there, and stuff like that. So the 26 and the 34E that we have on the other table over there is that new expansion and getting larger, rather than just the smaller ones. Yeah.
And that's a good idea. You've got manufacturers out there like IBC, for example, in their V10 controller. They can control a 0026 with a 0 to 10. They've got the ability to do it. And as you've identified, we just need something that's a little bit bigger that can get that job done. And not surprising at all that you guys are working on that.
Yeah.
You and I like to talk shop a lot, and usually it's not even on the clock. We just like to bust each other's chops and talk about hydronics. Just what else can we do? So what would be good and helpful is, why don't you share something that you see that people do wrong very frequently? Some sort of hydronic thing you wish that people could sort of get beyond, that they consistently have this old wives' tale or this myth that we always have to do this. Back in the day it was the expansion tank and people getting confused on how to apply expansion tanks. We've solved that. What's that other item that kind of drives you crazy?
Two things. Right. One, I think we still have a chronic issue of overpumping.
Oh, 100%.
And not that there's anything wrong with it. All right, because
it's good for you. We're buying expensive pumps. Let's be honest. You can buy a 0026E. I'm going to say it's $3,000 just so we can get Dave going. It's not $3,000. Or you could buy a 0015 and the 0015 is doing it. You're just giving Takeo more money. So Dave's saying, don't give us money we don't need.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You know what? We're so used to one zone in the house 40 years ago.
Yeah.
One pump, done.
Yeah.
You wanted another zone, you just repeated what you did. And but that small wet rotor circulator like the 7E and the 0015, has been the industry standard for so long, can do a lot of house. And if we don't apply the math properly, it's overpumping.
Yeah.
Now, is overpumping a problem? No, we're still solving the solution of creating a zone in the house.
Yeah.
But what happens is things turn on an awful lot, and now we get short cycling, and equipment, other parts and pieces start to fail.
Yeah.
So premature failure. So that's what we want to be careful about. So that's the one side of it where we're putting way too many pumps in. Now we start thinking zone valves, and I see that shift.
Yeah.
I see that shift coming, and people paying attention to components like the zone sentry and whatnot. And then the other half of the story is now that we do get into the variable speed pumps, we're still not applying what they can do.
Yes.
All right. It's not just variable speed; it's smart.
Yes.
It'll do the thinking for me, right?
and you and I both know that's not the case.
Right, yeah, so there is no piece of equipment that will do the thinking for us yet.
Yeah.
All right.
I think one of the things that contractors, and I had this problem, so when I was still in the field installing equipment, there was no Dave Holdorf or Mike Riddler that I could call, right? I had to figure it out on my own. I think what people need to get used to is that there are people in the industry, me and you included, that will happily take a phone call, help you with the design, to let you know what pump you could use for that job. You don't need to wing it anymore.
Right.
You know, it's not a 0013 on every job. And the reality is, my jobs, a lot of them were 0013s. Why?
Yeah.
That's what the wholesaler had on the shelf. You know,
and it was the one up from the
exactly.
The yeah.
Is the house this big or this big? This big's a 0015. This big's a 0013.
Yeah.
You know, people think the design is complicated and expensive. Design is not complicated. You and I teach the math, and if you design your system, it's going to work better, and you're going to save money in the actual design of the job.
I agree, and I think with everybody still coming to training, online training, to learn how to pick the right one and what setting to put it into is important nowadays. And so coming to live training, we're back. Thank God. Right?
Yes.
We're back to live training, online training, wherever you can get that information, get it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, speaking of training, we should talk about the idea we discussed before the camera started. So Eden does this 3 degrees of hydronic design, and what I do is I bring 3 different people. So we did one recently where we actually drew up in Takeo HSS a non-condensing system. We retrofitted into a condensing system, and then we retrofitted that into a System M hydronic heat pump, air-to-water heat pump.
Excellent, yeah.
So what we need to do in the next one, and we talked about this, is me and you will bring 2 different perspectives. I will bring the design perspective, you'll bring the manufacturer's perspective. Let's bring a contractor in, and the 3 of us will do another episode of 3 degrees of hydronic design, and everybody will get 3 truly unique perspectives.
I love it.
As much as you and I think alike, we do things differently. We're from different parts of the country, in this case, totally different countries. Believe it or not, Canada is not a state.
And it's not the attic?
The attic. I like that. We're going with that. So Canada is now officially the attic of the United States.
Not that Mexico's the basement.
You went there, not me. So with that said, what else at the show excites you? Other than Takeo and all these exciting products, what else at the show has you really excited?
It is still meeting, hanging out with you guys. I honestly haven't gotten out of the booth yet. I haven't left this area yet. So today I got some time for some walkabout, and I'm excited to go walk around. So there are a few, my manufacturer friends in Boiler World and everybody else out there just to go see, because I missed the show last year, didn't get there. And I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody else again. So we had a lot of people last night at the party.
It was a great event.
All right. But I still didn't get to see everybody there. So, and I'm looking forward to just doing some walkabout.
I'm the same as you. For me, the highlight is obviously you and I get to hang out, and I get to see a lot of friends, and I got to meet a lot of new people. I think the big thing people got to be aware of is don't be afraid to say hi, right?
Right.
I've had a lot of people come up and get scared away by the camera. It's like, no, come say hi, let's chat. And they need to come in and say hi to you. And if there's somebody out there you've always been watching online and you'd like to ask them a question, don't be afraid. We're all approachable.
Heck yeah.
Have a conversation.
It's our job, man. It's our job. We love doing it.
As always, absolute pleasure, my friend.
Good to see you, brother.